turned $300 into over $100,000 at 17 years old. What's up guys, Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I want to share with you a story of how I turned $300 into $100,000 with the power of wholesaling real estate, and exactly how you can do the same thing in your real estate wholesaling business. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Ginn. I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals, and what I do on this channel is I teach you exactly how you can get in real estate wholesaling, how you can use the side hustle into an actual full-time business and change your life forever. Wholesaling real estate has actually been a thing for centuries being done, and that's what I want to teach you today. So the reason why I'm so passionate about wholesaling real estate was my beginner story, right? I was 17 years old and I only had $300 in my bank account, and I spent it all on wholesaling real estate that made me over $100,000, which eventually led me to reinvest the business and run a seven-figure wholesaling operation where I'm able to do hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in my own wholesaling real estate business. Let's kind of break down my story starting out and how I was able to turn $300 into $100,000. Now, I know before you're watching this, you're like, this has got to be some Ponzi scheme, some little MLM thing. He's probably going to sell me some type of coin or digital artwork thing, and this is some crazy little scam. And let me tell you the truth up front. Yes, I completely understand. Most people online on YouTube telling you that you only need this little money and you get all these crazy returns and it's almost guaranteed. It's always going to be a Ponzi scheme or a complete scam. The reason why wholesaling real estate works so well is it's not like drop shipping, Forex, day trading, where you have to pour thousands of dollars into a course to learn what to do, and then pour an extra $4,000 or $5,000 in Facebook ads and buying all this product and then trying to sell your friends and your family on it. It's none of that crazy stuff. You really don't put money into wholesaling real estate. What you put in is time. That's essentially what I did. Now, I used $300 as a lever to increase my success, but ultimately it was the time and effort I put in. So let's break this down. When I was 17 years old, I was pretty much a broke bag boy working at my minimum wage job, bagging groceries and scrubbing toilets. I saw my dad have a check for wholesaling real estate on his desk, and I was like, dang, I gotta get into this. Eventually, I asked him, like, how do I get started in wholesaling real estate? And he said, if I wanted to learn, I gotta prove myself and get my first deal, and then he'll help me out a little more. But pretty much what he wanted to tell me was if you want it bad enough, you're gonna earn it. So eventually what I did is I looked up online, I found all this wholesaling information. They're all gurus, all terrible information. They wanted to hoard the knowledge, so you could only get the knowledge if you bought the course, which obviously didn't have the money at the time. So reading through a bunch of my dad's old wholesaling books, and I do know how privileged I was to even have wholesaling real estate books on the family shelf, I basically learned what wholesaling real estate was. More or less, it's the process of finding somebody who wants to sell their property, putting that property under contract, and selling that contractor piece of paper for a $5, $10, $15, even $20,000 profit. So me knowing I had no money and knowing the process more or less, I decided to get starting at 17. Now, keep in mind, I was working 39 hours a week at my grocery store job. I was doing high school wrestling, and I was taking full-time classes. And basically what I was doing every single weekend when I was at my high school wrestling tournaments, what I decided with $300, I can't do direct mail, I can't send letters out, I can't do any of this crazy stuff. All I knew was there's a bunch of "We Buy Ugly Houses" signs outside when I always drove to school. So I decided I was gonna do that. So I went to a sign shop, bought around 100 signs for like $250, $260, and I got about 100 signs. And what I basically did was I just stuck those signs out. And they're pretty basic: "We Buy Ugly Houses" with a phone number on there, and that phone number went to me, and I answered the calls. And the point was just to find somebody who just wanted to get rid of the property for cash and get a good deal from it. So I got a couple calls, pretty good, but really the first legitimate call I got was actually in my history class in high school. And I still remember to this day, I got that call and I knew it was from the bandit sign, and I picked it up and it said hello right in the middle of class. And I got kicked out, obviously, from the class. And I was lucky I was in a high school where they don't take your phones. I know some high schools do that. And I basically left class, went in the parking lot, started talking to the guy, and he lost his job and he's trying to get a new engineering job out of state, and he just wanted to get rid of his property. So I got really excited. I went back home, skipped class, and I told my dad about it. Like, hey, I gotta go. I'm gonna go on this appointment right now. And he said, you can't go, son. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He said, you're 17 years old. You can't lock this thing up yourself. I said, well, what? And so basically I had to be 18 years old to actually sign a legal contract. My dad went with me on the appointment. I talked to the seller, basically lowballed him a pretty good price, and he accepted it. And my dad had to sign the contract for me. And if I remember correctly, I think I was under contract for around $90,000. Eventually I found a cash buyer and sold it for $110,000, which gave me $20,000 in profit. And then when I was 18 years old, I was able to do contracts myself. But the moral of the story here is, when I was on that appointment, I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know anything about talking to sellers. I didn't know anything about repair costs. I just went after it and I did well. And that is the power power of wholesaling real estate. If you can just find people that want to get rid of the property for a certain reason, you're going to make money. You don't have to be an expert on the piece of house, the repair costs, or even being good at talking to a seller. If you can fit their need of getting rid of the property for cash, you can make money in wholesaling real estate. The issue is so many gurus and wholesaling and real estate investors think you have to put thousands and millions of dollars even to get started in real estate. And the truth is, wholesaling real estate's the best one, because all you need to do is have that hustle. So eventually that $20,000 led to me buying more signs. I started putting way more signs out and I got more deals and more contracts. And when I was 18 years old, I was able to sign contracts myself. And about 90 days in, I made around $100,000. And then I graduated high school, made another 40, 50K, and pretty much it was lights out from there. I started scaling up my operations even more. There's a lot of trials and tribulations in between my story, but I just want you guys to understand that it is completely possible to make $100,000 in under 90 days. Heck, I got a DM the other day from a man named Daryl, and he made $70,000 his first month in wholesaling real estate. Guys, there's people that are doing way better than me, way better than Daryl, and all they're doing is going out here and finding ugly looking houses. And now that story was from 2017. Now, honestly, in 2023 right now, I want to get started wholesaling real estate with only $300 or even $0. You don't need to spend $300 like I did. You could cold call government lists. These are the code violations, fire damaged properties, water shutoff list, the liens, the probates, on and on and on. I'd probably cold call lists like that. You don't even have to pay to find their phone numbers. You just go to a website like truepeoplesearch.com and you don't have to worry about finding someone's phone number. And then from there, if you really want to spend $300, I highly recommend you get into driving for dollars. Now, this was a strategy I did starting out. No real books I read taught me about this, and I probably should have done this. Looking back, it wasn't a regret, but it's definitely something I probably should have done. And that's basically just going in your car and looking for ugly looking houses. So if I go in my car right now and drive around a neighborhood where I know there's a lot of rentals, a lot of good real estate investing opportunities, and most importantly, areas where my cash buyers actually want to buy real estate, I can write down the address of those properties, get their phone number, and call them up. If you're a beginner right now, wanting to get into wholesaling real estate, there's not a knowledge gate that's stopping you from becoming successful. Even if you're not a complete expert at talking to somebody or knowing repair costs, if you can become an expert on just finding ugly looking houses by pulling lists or drawing for dollars and getting in contact and communicating that you want to buy the property for cash, the in-between stuff I got you for free because I give you all the free scripts and you can do well. There's no cost, there's no barriers of entry needed to get into wholesaling real estate, but the only barrier to entry to get into this business is hard work and dedication. I cannot teach you to work hard. I cannot teach you to put in the grind. I cannot teach you to be a hustler. This is stuff you have to make the decision for yourself. And the results you get are going to be completely correlated to the actions you take. And I've always found the more action you take, the better. And I've always taken more action when I had a big motivation. And my biggest motivation starting out was I did not want to work a minimum wage bag boy job. I didn't want to be cleaning dookie from a toilet all day for the rest of my life. I knew my life meant for something even greater. And so many amazing real estate investors and millionaire wholesalers have a very similar story. They knew their life could go another direction and they wouldn't make that change. Guys, life is short. Taking the safe option sometimes isn't the right thing to do. Actually going out here, taking the risk and betting on yourself could be the single-handedly greatest thing you've ever done. Taking that action and trying to make a complete great change in your life is going to be amazing. Now guys, you're going to hear me talk about wholesaling real estate and how you should do it all day. I made that risk and that choice at 17 years old, and that's got me to the point now where I can make millions of dollars every single year in my wholesaling business. That brings hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in passive income for me. So I don't have to worry about the money for the rest of my life. My family doesn't, and I'm taken care of. The reason why I'm recording this video right now is for a message for you. Wholesaling real estate changed my life. I can only give you my story, but I can give you thousands of stories of other wholesalers that learned on this YouTube channel and on my free real estate wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. Now, before you get in the eye roll like, oh, here it is, here's the seminar, here's the pitch, he's trying to get my credit card, it's not what it seems. I basically learned this business more or less from my dad absolutely for free when I was 17 years old, especially more after I got my first deal. I would not be anywhere near the level of a man or a wholesaler I'd be currently if it wasn't for him. Unfortunately, not everybody has a dad like that. So I want to be your metaphorical dad and teach you wholesaling real estate for free for two main reasons. First and foremost, to change your life and the financial trajectory of you and your family for the rest of your life. And number two, flex on a guru. I'm so sick of these gurus trying to sell you $10,000 real estate wholesaling programs to just learn wholesaling real estate. It stops so many people from getting started in this business, and I'm sick of it. Wholesaling real estate can help anybody with $0 get into this business, and these gurus are trying to make you pay thousands and have a barrier of entry to learn in this business. And the answer is you don't have to. I highly recommend you go to freewholesaling.com wholesaling.com, which is my free real estate wholesaling course. I have over 50,000 active members who are actively on the website daily and learning wholesaling real estate for free. That's where you get my free scripts, how to talk to sellers, how to close sellers, and the actionable steps and guide. Even my 30-day wholesaling challenge is in there. I actually show my HUDs, my real deals, all these examples, recorded calls, all of it. Guys, it is a $7,000 wholesaling course I give absolutely for free that I'm giving to you. The question is, you have all the keys and the resources right now in this video to get started in wholesaling real estate. You have to ask yourself, what is stopping me and what do I need to do to get to these results? The true answer is taking action and being consistent with it. I hope to see you at freewholesaling.com, or at the very least, subscribe to this YouTube channel, hop on the live streams and ask me questions. Guys, I'm on there and I do talk to anybody who wants to be learned from me for free. I'm not a stinking guru and I want to help you out. Guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Go to freewholesaling.com. Thanks, guys.